Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about 3 high-risk, high-reward kind of companies that if everything goes according to plan, they could really prosper. So look at this, not financial advice, so there I said it. The 3 companies we will talk about is American Battery Technologies, which has had a tremendous correction from like $11 to like $3 in like a couple of weeks. Electra Battery Materials, which went from, it was at $1.50 Canadian to $7, and now it's like $1.30. But it's basically fully permitted and like it literally constructing like one of the few recycling centers for like Cobalt and so forth. And the ComStock Inc. First one will be American Battery Technology. Oh, the fact that America is in dire need of commodities, but bear in mind they also need to keep the commodities inside the country when they have made a product. Instead of like producing, even if you were to produce batteries in America, you still need to like want to recycle them to keep yourself as independent as humanly possible. By recycling them, you can mine it in America and like in friendly countries, and then recycle it to then keep it recycling it, keeping it in your own ecosystem and not having to be reliant on like adversaries processing and currently recycling batteries. And the fact that batteries are increasing in demand. If you look at the cargo of batteries, it's insane. And the fact that with data centers and the increasing use of EVs, data centers, robots, batteries are just gonna grow. And the fact that you still need to recycle them, get the minerals to then make newer batteries, and the fact that you still need to be independent. Because imagine if most of your society is run by batteries and computers, and then everything to run those things are imported from companies and countries that don't like you. This seems very interesting. The reason why we're talking about it is the fact that it is processing. The fact that it has had a massive correction from like $11, that might have rallied tremendously, and then it went to $3 now, or $3, $4 range. So this is more like high risk. So if you don't like risk, please stay away. But this is more like for those who have a long time frame, and they would apparently also have a lithium deposit as well. But that is not currently producing. Bear that in mind. They are designed to capture and recycle nearly every component of a lithium-ion battery cell, or like increased capacity at the Nevada facility. They would apparently produce up to 20,000 tons per year. They also have partnership with BASF. BASF is a major chemical and product producer. Is one of the largest chemical companies on the planet. They also partnered with Ford to Recycler. They are partnered with the US Advanced Battery Consortium, made up of General Motors, Ford. Bro, what? This company is amazing, allegedly. And it has a designated Fast 41 priority project for the lithium. Like basically almost most of like the old guard of American car producers. The BASF relationship would apparently be to proving lithium-ion battery recycling. BASF would be producing cathode active materials at its production site in Michigan. They will be using recycled metals purchased from American Battery Technology, such as nickel, cobalt, lithium, and to establish one of the first closed-loop solutions for lithium-ion batteries in North America. So it seems like a very interesting opportunity, and it seems to be that they would apparently be fixing or like recycling some damaged lithium batteries in Nevada. There was 100,000 batteries damaged from one cleanup, and they would apparently get, or the recycled process value would be $30 million. So now let's go over to the next one, which will be Electra Battery Materials. Electra would be a North American critical minerals recycling company for like lithium-ion batteries. This would be in Canada, bear in mind, but they would be advancing cobalt sulfate production or like recycling. And they have partners such as the government of Canada, and they have an off-take contract with LG Energy Solutions, and they even were awarded some cash from the US Department of Defense. But they have a 100% feedstock contract with Eurasian Resource Group and Glencore to get cobalt production. And they also have a supply contract with LG Solutions up to 15 to 20,000 tons of battery-grade cobalt over a 5-year period, where the LG contract would represent 60 to 80% of their production. They are fully funded for construction, and they are constructing right now, where Electra has reactivated construction of the copper sulfate refinery, where they have had support from the US and the Canadian government, and also the Ontario local government, and they would apparently be producing up to 6,500 tons of battery-grade cobalt annually. And the fact that they've had a little correction, to say it mildly, it went from $1.50 to $6, $7 Canadian, to now $1.20 Canadian. So it might be interesting, the fact that they would apparently be producing in 2037. It seems very interesting. And they also have one of the largest unmined cobalt resources in the United States, and they have secured permits, and cobalt is used in batteries, and apparently they would some battery components. Apparently cobalt is highly influenced by Congo, or like major producers in Africa. So it's like a very like people are trying to like decouple a little bit from cobalt, but it's still very much in need for batteries. So now let's go over to the final company on this list, which will be a company I found out a couple of weeks ago. They would receive solar panels where at the facility they would be shredding it, processing it, and shredding it again, and then separating the produce, where separating the aluminium, the glass, and the minerals like silver. Because bear in mind, like solar panels have, if I remember correctly, 20 grams of silver per panel, or like 1 or 0.7 ounces of silver per panel. And listen to this. They would apparently at each facility get a tipping fee, or like the revenue of $500 per ton of solar panels. After like recycling it, it would cost $150 per ton. That would be $350 profit per panel. And that's not including the profits from the minerals and metals in the panels. So apparently they would get up to $550 per ton in profit. Bear in mind, it depends on the commodity price, but imagine if silver increases in price even more. That would mean even more profit. And apparently they would, at each of their facilities, one of them starting in 2026, would be able to produce up to 100,000 tons, or process 100,000 tons of solar panels, which is 3.3 million panels. And they will be apparently producing 3 of them by 2028. So like one panel in 2020, one facility in 2026, one in 2027, one in 2028, if everything goes according to plan. Bear that in mind. None of this is financial advice, by the way. The fact that they have most of the permits, they are, I think the one remaining permit is the air quality permit, which they would apparently get in November, early December. But hey, they are located in Nevada, and the fact that, or like in the Reno area, and the fact that most of like the older solar panels are located in California, and the fact that, you know, they're close by and they have to basically decommission those solar panels in the future by then having the plant close to where most of the older plants or like solar panels needing to be recycled, seems like a very wise decision from the people that made the facility. The most of the solar panels in the United States are apparently in California, Texas, Florida. The solar panel global market would be 750 tons in 2025, but it almost increased to 80 million tons by 2050. So this is a high growth sector. And they even have an investment in Green Li-ion, which is also a battery recycling company. And I think they have a 9% stake in that company with a holding company where they own 90% of that holding company. So they own basically like 7 to 8% of Green Li-ion shares. Which even like a little bit of Equinor, which is a major Norwegian oil and gas and renewable energy producer, is also invested in that company, which is very interesting. But I thoroughly hope you've enjoyed this. Bear in mind, none of this video is to be used as financial advice. Get in trouble, want to get in trouble. But I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm very passionate about this. It seems like very interesting companies that no one's talking about. Please do not invest in any of these if you're not interested in learning about them or researching or doing any of the work. Please stay away from this, because if you do not know what you invested in, that's a recipe for disaster. Please do your research and have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe. Want me to talk about it in the next video? Please leave it in the comments. Have a wonderful day. Peace.